How's it going, guys? It's your host, Noah, again, of the Garchomp Daily. Hope you guys are doing well. I know I am. I know it's a bit late. I know when some of you see this, it may be a little bit later. But I was like, I really wanted to get this video out. I promised you guys I was going to bring out more videos this week. And I am. And I even have some shiny hunts on my mind that I'm going to do all throughout the week. But with that being said, I wanted to go over some stuff just regarding from Scarlet and Violet news to ZA news and even Nintendo Switch 2 news, because we all know, if you haven't been within the know, the Nintendo Switch 2 has been announced, which is the predecessor to our current Nintendo Switch, obviously, and I'm pretty hyped for it. It's somehow improved on its design from what the original Nintendo Switch looked like. And I'm hoping there's going to be a lot more features to it that we get to have. Excuse me. But we already have some possible leaks on when it may come out. And again, some of the stuff you guys got to take with a grain of salt. But that kind of information where we're going to look into, where you have to put a grain of salt to it, is going to come after this. I first want to talk about some Scarlet and Violet news. Cerebi.net here, they posted for us, and from January 24th to the 26th, we're going to have the Tera Raid battle for the Screamtail and Iron Bundle. This will definitely help you out if you haven't gotten either of them on your opposite versions of the game, help you fill out your living decks. And plus, it's just a nice Tera Raid that we can do to where we can just get a whole bunch of materials from doing these raids, or just even catching them, like I said, for your living decks, or just to have them. And the details on this entire event is here if you do want to go to Cerebi. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's like every other Tera Raid event that they like to do, and this is going to be another good one, especially with it being a Paradox Pokemon. Well, two of them, really. And it is a small little window, but again, these two Pokemon are not necessarily as hard to get as many may believe. And as we can see down here, Cerebi has even commented, for those who may wonder, if you can catch these multiple times, because we have a lot of times where we have these big Tera Raid battles to where you can only catch one of them, like Shiny Rayquaza and Mewtwo and all the others. But as you can see here, someone asks, so can we only catch them once? And then Cerebi says, no, you can get these ones as many times as you like. So if you want to get a whole army of Screamtails, go ahead, you have it all for you. But that goes for our Scarlet and Violet news. The next one is involving Light 88. I've been becoming more and more familiar with his work, and he is a little bit more renowned. Not as much as like Riddler Coup or anything, but he's still a really great creator when it comes in general creation. But as a leaker, I've not really heard his name often, and it's mostly been Riddler Coup and others. But the more I look into this guy, the more I enjoy his content. So again, I do not know the guy, but as you can see with him providing us with this content for us to go over, definitely check him out. He is, a great, channel to go towards, especially on Twitter. Again, do your own research on him. I'm fairly new to his content, but I've gotten my resources to tell me that he's pretty reliant, and he's even gotten some stuff here where he's even admitting, take this stuff with a grain of salt. So we can see here, it is a Pokémon Legends ZA potential leak. And these are the possible returning back Pokemon. All of them are included in the Ikaku's Pokemon Home code listed as special evolution or obtaining methods, but only the ones, and it says only the ones that I mentioned, so take this with a grain of salt. So, with that being said, it could mean it's going to be in Legends ZA. I mean, these are hidden within the code, and that does mean a lot. But let's look through each one of them and go over them. We got the Galarian Yamask, and then the Runerigus, which I believe I talked about recently when it came to our typings list, with just, how good the ghost typing is and how much I like the Yamask line, especially the Galarian Yamask line. And this is yet another Pokemon I'd love to see coming into Legends ZA, especially with it being around France. I would definitely see it coming back, mainly because of the catacombs. And if they do actually build onto the catacombs aesthetic within France and bringing that over into Legends ZA, I think it'd be really cool, because with it being a ghost type, it could definitely, build off of, the haunting catacombs under, Paris. So I definitely look forward to this, and I hope we do see it. I also like how Pokemon's kind of gone to a little bit more of a darker, or at least a more, I won't say adult audience, but a little bit of an older audience, your teen plus, with some of its more darker themes within its recent games, just because it makes it a little bit more realistic. I know it's kind of crazy to say because it's Pokemon, but I kind of like the little bit of realism in the sense of danger that these Pokemon can have to people, and having catacombs would be cool. Alcremie in all of its forms, I'm not surprised. I mean, France, they make amazing food, specifically baked goods. Not surprised there. Basculegion. I'm quite interested with this, because when Hisui and Basculin and Basculegion were introduced, it was in the past, and obviously we got them in the future with Paldea, and that makes sense for them to be brought back, and for them to reemerge. But Pokemon Legends ZA, let's admit, has been thrown into the controversy of when it's going to take place. Is it going to be in the future? Is it going to be in the past? No one knows. But if it's going to be in the past, I want to see how they integrate, these. And this can even go with Stantler and its evolution right here. These two were introduced in Old Hisui, aka the Old Sinnoh region. And from what we know, they are strictly found from those regions, or at least at the time they were. So if this was in the past, how far in the past is it? Because obviously in Paldea, technology is more advanced. They can bring these Pokemon to all regions and introduce them to everyone. I mean, again, that's why we have them within Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. But if this is in the past, that technology is not there. And maybe there's some other reasons, they bring them over by ship, kind of like how animals have been within the past. But they would have to go over that, because I wouldn't just go into Legends ZA and expect to see a Basculegion or a Rhyhorn right out of the blue, especially with how futuristic the whole Legends ZA looks. I think it would be quite interesting to see how they play off of that. And again, take it with a grain of salt, as he said, but if they do add it, I'm really hoping they add reasons to why. If it's futuristic and they add it because of the future, whatever. But some people have theorized that we're going to be able to bounce between future and past. And if that's the case, will these guys come with us, or will these guys only be available within the future? Which I think would be kind of cool, that in order for you to complete certain parts of your living dex, you have to bounce between the future and past. And I think that would be tedious at times, but I think it would be really interesting and a really cool mechanic. But it's just a theory. And I just think it would be cool. The Pawniard Bisharp line with King Gambit, again, makes sense. Especially if it's going to be futuristic. Even within the old times, it would still make sense because, France is known for knights and shining armor and stuff of that nature within the past. Gimmighoul and Goldango, if this is really added to ZA, I want to know how. Because Goldango, even though it is a valuable raid asset, it has a specific way to evolve. I mean, excuse me, I was taking a drink. You have to collect 999 Gimmighoul coins. So, one one theory that I've heard, and I'm going to give a shout out to HDV. He's another Pokemon YouTuber that I watch. He's great. But he suggested the theory that they may have a game where we have to collect Gimmighoul coins, or some type of maybe a in-game race or some type of in-game event to where we can collect these coins so we can evolve our Gimmighoul. And I think that would be really cool, because I just wouldn't see just these Gimmighouls just lying around, which hints more to if we're going to bounce between the past or future, and if we are in the future. Because if we're strictly within the future, then obviously these make sense, that it's future, whatever. But there's so many hints and tales that it's also going to be within the past, and that's why it's so confusing. And we're supposed to, here soon at least, be getting a Pokemon Presents of some sort. At least that's what has been going around. And maybe that will explain it. And I know that Nintendo's going to make their debut more so in the very near future because of the Nintendo Switch 2. And hopefully that helps as well. But I'm going to assume a lot of the Pokemon Presents around ZA is going to be on a Pokemon Presents strictly. And we can even move on to the Mankey, Primeape, and Ileaf line. Again, wouldn't hurt having them in either future or past. Those would exist. Quillfish and Overquill, same as Basculegion and Rhydeer. If it's in the past, we gotta know why they are there. Because from all we know, and from what we know strictly just from their Pokedex entries, etc., these guys come strictly from old Sinnoh, aka Hisui. And we would need to know where they're coming from. Rotom, all forms, again, basic stuff. And then Keldeo. I am interested to see Keldeo return. I know that he was in Sword and Shield, and that's completely fine. But I would hope to see a little bit more from Keldeo, and I'm hoping to see more of just the Justice Trio, or however you would like to call them, because with all these rumors of Gen 5 remakes coming, I would hope that is going to either be what Gen 10 is, which I'm assuming Gen 10 is going to be an entire region, but remakes could obviously happen between that time, if not with it. And who knows? We know so little about Gen 10 that we can't just make assumptions, but I've always had a little bit of a admiration for Keldeo. Obviously, Keldeo isn't the most spectacular, especially in battle, but it's been able to be used before. It's had its time to shine before, and I think it can shine again. And with all of its forms available, that obviously means the rest of the Justice Trio will join Keldeo in that, which I look forward to. But yeah, as I said before, take this with a grain of salt. Just because it was found within the home code does not mean exactly that these are all going to be in ZA. It's highly possible, and it definitely leans towards that, but it isn't the end-all, be-all. But I really do hope that these are all added, because even if they are all added, I believe it will add some more lore, add how Pokemon were transferred to other regions. And I think this would be a really, really great addition just to the game, especially if we're going between the past and future, because we can get to see even migrations of Pokemon moving to other regions, which we've seen, or at least have been hinted at before with it. So I'm just hoping that all these are here. And I'd also just love to see Runerigus coming back, because that was a very underrated design, and I really liked the whole dynamic of Runerigus. The last thing we're going to talk about is from Nintendo Everything, and it's from Nacon talking about when it will most likely release. Now, Nacon, from what I remember, they are a big distributor of the accessories when it comes to the Nintendo Switch, and therefore they're going to obviously be the distributor of accessories within the Nintendo Switch too. And they're saying, and again, with the 2025-2026, that the first half of their fiscal year, they're expecting this to launch. And they're saying this is going to be between April and September. Now, I don't believe it will be April. I feel that is just too soon. And again, maybe not. I mean, really, maybe not. But I would think September would be more realistic, or anything between those months, just because they're going to iron out the kinks with whatever's with the the Nintendo Switch 2 upon release. And as we can see here, that Nikon said something else involving this too. They go on to state the company mentioned that it already has compatible games and a full range of accessories in the works for the Nintendo Switch 2, which means it's definitely coming this year. I mean, if they already have all these assets, you could only expect there to be more to come within the very, very close upcoming months. And maybe April isn't that unrealistic. I mean, we know they've been working on this new console for more than 2-3 years. Like, they've been working on this for some time, because the Nintendo Switch, despite it being amazing, is getting older now. And I love my Nintendo Switch, but dang sure I'm going to instantly pre-order mine so I can have mine ready to grab, and I don't have to deal with people just trying to scalp everything and just take it off the shelves. I'm going to pre-order mine, even if it means a little bit more money has to come out of my wallet. And I hope you guys do too, because this just looks bigger and better. And some people complain it looks so similar and simple. Well, how much can you do with a portable console that can also connect to your TV and computer? And with that being said, I'm really hoping the Nintendo Switch 2 allows you to connect to your computer better, because I stream all of my Pokemon Scarlet and Violet via a capture card. And I have the XR1, and it's great. The XR1 Pro is amazing and I love it, but I don't feel we should have to resolve to those capture cards. I feel we should just be able to connect, and I'm hoping it does. And considering that they're hinting at mouse compatibility, which again I don't really think we can say hinting. It's just they've outright stated it, but we don't know how far this is going to go. And if that's the case, then we're obviously going to have some more PC features. And it says right here, last week Nikon gave us a look at many accessories it has in the pipeline. These include pouches, wheels. You can check out everything here, and again, we'll obviously go look. So again, obviously with the Mario Kart game being announced, you got the wheels, you got the carrying cases, the chargers, adapters, the full-on steering wheel, and then some additions for your Joy-Cons. So, with that being said, I'm rather excited. And we can even look at this right here. Many more details about the system games more should be provided during the Nintendo Direct presentation on April 2nd. Which, again, I remember telling you guys not too long ago that it was coming soon. And it's directly going to be on April 2nd. So, here we will either see it be fully announced and ready for sale, and they're going to just lay it down there and be like, this is when you can buy it, go ahead. Or a more specific date, and they'll give out, pre-orders. Because I am assuming they'll allow you to do pre-orders, and the fact that I'm not seeing anything about pre-ordering this is why I really doubt they're going to release it specifically in April. Just because that doesn't give a lot of people time to pre-order, because they even know how people just go and grab, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we want that success, from this new console. So, in my personal opinion, I'm going to say that if it does get released, it's definitely going to have to be around maybe July going through September, like in that area, because I could definitely see them doing like a big summer sale or something, And summer is a pretty big time of season at least for us. Now, over there, obviously, they don't share the same seasons, but for Nintendo America, it would be the summer for us, and that would be huge. And I would definitely see Nintendo taking advantage of that. But, again, I hope you guys found this video helpful, and I hope you guys are excited for the games and the new consoles I am. I'm really hoping to get a Pokemon present soon. I really want to hear more of ZA. We keep on getting more and more hints, and it just eventually Pokemon is just going to break its silence and tell us more. We already have the Nintendo Switch 2 breaking its silence, and I look forward to that because we know that so far the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be backwards compatible with other games. So just because it comes out doesn't mean that you have to pitch all your games. You're going to be able to play on them. And I'm assuming even transfer data over because you're going to be using your Nintendo Switch account. So if you have the digital downloads of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet like I do, which I usually do prefer, the digital downloads just because you keep them forever, no matter where you go, you can use them that way. So I look forward to it. And let me know your thoughts down within the comments of what you think of these potential leaks on when this will release. And let me know about your opinions on the Pokemon that could be returning. I know I'm excited, especially, as I said, with the Runerigus, a great asset to bring back. And I'm hoping Legends ZA delivers on more. I'm also hoping Legends ZA delivers on our first Dragon Bug type, something we've yet to get, which I'm holding hope. Who knows? But I believe that's all for me today. Again, have a good night, have a good morning. I look forward to hearing from you guys. And again, be a chomp above the rest, and see you around.